In southern Nigeria, Ijaw leaders from Delta State have raised an alarm over possible threats by the Shakiris to take over their land, the land of their host communities. According to the spokesperson of the Gbaramatu Kingdom, God's Power, Gbenekama, the land in dispute belongs to the Ijaws and no other group has the right to claim its ownership. The group wants the federal government to help protect the territories from attack.
For centuries, the Ijaws and Ishakiris from the Niger Delta region have lived peacefully with each other, both on land and sea. However, the discovery of crude oil in the region in the 1960s opened an era of rivalry between both ethnic groups, with both parties laying claim to ownership of pieces of land, including this one. In the past, clashes over this land have also led to loss of lives and property. There currently exists relative peace owing to the intervention of government and other stakeholders. But there is a fresh source of worry. A warning is coming from a group of youths from Ishakiri communities spread in over 12 local government areas and 3 states in the Niger Delta region. They have released a statement called the Degele Declaration. Part of the declaration reads that all resources within the stretch of land and water in the Ishakiri ethnic nation belongs to the Ishakiri people as provided by God for their perpetual survival. We hereby notify all our communities that are host to these oil companies to be on red alert and be ready to defend our territories against the aggressors. By this declaration, we put the federal government of Nigeria on notice on all illegal occupants of our territories. This has awakened Ijaw leaders of Gbaramatu Kingdom to the threats issued by the Ishakiris to attack Ijaw communities.
We live in the place, we stay in the place, we have always stayed in the place. And then you say, you are going to take possession of those places. It means that for you to take possession, you would have to drive away the people that are already there. That is what it means. It is beating the drum of war.
As at the time of this report, all attempts to reach the Ishakiri leaders on the statement released by the youths was abortive. The Delta State Police Command says it is aware of the threats and disagreements between the groups.
At the level of the Security Council, we will address that matter, we will revisit the matter and see how we can, find, a solution to that problem.
Meanwhile, at a meeting with traditional rulers in the South-South region, Governor Ifeanyi Okowa reiterates the importance of sustainable peace in the region.
It's something that impacts very negatively on the finances of the South-South region, and we must find ways to continue to ensure that we have the cooperation and partnership of our people to ensure that we remain peaceful and that we are able through dialogue to settle issues that impact on the communities in the oil producing areas.
Going forward, observers agree that dialogue still remains the way forward for both ethnic groups, whom they say must come together and sustain the peace that currently exists.
In southern Africa, Zambia's opposition leader Hakainde Hichilema has posted an update from prison on his Facebook page. Mr. Hichilema says he and those with him are in good spirits despite numerous measures aimed at killing their spirit. He's been in custody since a traffic incident when his convoy refused to give way to the motorcade of President Edgar Lungu. The opposition leader faces treason charges over that incident. However, he says he is being treated like a convicted criminal despite the fact that there has not been a trial. Mr. Hichilema also condemned acts of violence in the country, which he described as being on autopilot. The medical charity Médecins Sans Frontières has warned of an acute humanitarian emergency in the area Somalis live in Ethiopia. Ethiopia is reportedly trying to cope with the worst drought in decades, which has been especially bad across its southern and southeastern regions. The aid group says almost 70 malnourished children have died this month in one area of Ethiopia and warns this could be just the tip of the iceberg. MSF also says there are extremely high levels of malnutrition in Dulu zone in Ethiopia's Somali-speaking region caused by drought, which has led to the death of livestock, a major source of food. The organization says the situation is the worst it has seen in the area in the 10 years it's been working there. There are also concerns that the supplies of emergency food will run out by the end of next month. Tanzania has banned the export of food grain following concerns over an increase in food smuggling to neighboring countries. At the weekend, the authorities seized 10 trucks of food products reportedly heading to Kenya at Tarakea, northern Tanzania. Speaking at the National Eid al-Fitr ceremony in Tanzania's Kilimanjaro region, Prime Minister Kassim Majira warned that food smuggling threatened the country's food security. The government will not now only allow export of processed food items such as maize flour because that will benefit local industries. Kenya has recently been hit by food shortages, in particular maize, which is a staple food in East Africa. The situation has opened up market opportunities for Tanzanian business people. South African banks have been rated as the strongest around the world by the banking advisory group Laureate. This is the second year in a row that banks in the country are being given this rating. Laureate is reported as saying that South Africa's downgraded credit status has not affected the standards of the bank. The 5 South African banks that were part of the study were Capitec, Absa, First Round, Standard Bank and Nedbank. Efforts say Capitec Bank got a 5-star rating and was rated best bank in the world. A Nigerian-born president of the Africa Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adeshina, has been named the 2017 World Food Prize Laureate. The announcement was made in Washington by President of the Halls of Laureates for World Food Prize, Ambassador Kenneth Quinn. With the selection, Dr. Adeshina becomes the 46th recipient and 6th African to be so honored. The prestigious $250,000 prize is given annually to an individual for the advancement of human development and food security. Dr. Adeshina was Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture under the administration of former President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan. Still to come on Network Africa. Libyans in Misrata hit the streets to buy gifts for Eid al-Fitr despite the economic woes in the country. That's in a moment. Please stay with us.